A survey report released by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has shown that 10,291 jobs were lost in that sector in 2017 alone.
That's mind-boggling. And in the first half of the year, 5,000 job losses were recorded, while a total of 5,200 jobs were lost in the second half of 2017. But before Nigeria's exit from recession, many manufacturing companies were forced to close shop and send many workers back into the labor market as they could not survive in the harsh business environment.
And data from MAN, that's the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, also revealed that despite the job losses, more than 1 million jobs were also created in the sector as at the end of 2017. Okay.
Yeah. Now we have human resource professional Ibrahim Owolabi joining us in the studio. Ibrahim, it's nice to see you.
It's pleased to be here again.
Good morning.
Now, when it comes to the issue of job creation and job loss and all of that, well, I know you know what the figures are, but when they say about 1 million people jobs were created, but so much jobs were lost, how do we balance that? Is that a progress, or is it stagnance, or is retrogression? How do we place that?
I think the figures are shared amidst of confusion, for there is job creation, same as job loss. But what pains me the most is not the figures, but it impacts on the national economy assessment vis-a-vis the labor force.
Yeah.
It's clear we must accept that the manufacturing sector accommodates a larger chunk of blue-collar workers, and they constitute a large base of the working population. So now that 10,299 jobs were lost in 2017, it's an indicator something somewhere is wrong at the government front or at the business side. But we cannot blame the business owners because their sensibility is tuned to maximizing shareholders' wealth. That's why they're in business. So the cross should be on government to make the environment more conducive. It's obvious that jobs were created, but we do not need to increase the unemployment rate. It's already at 18.8%.
Yeah.
So we should find ways to at least reduce it and not increase it.
Of course, as at 2015, it was somewhere around 14%, and it's like you said, it's gone up to 18.8%. But what exactly is at the core of these job losses? What exactly is causing it, if you can tell us?
It's about the deficiency in working capital majorly for many of these businesses, because cost of production, they are manufacturers, and you agree that it's a very scalable industry where you need to source for raw materials, most times outside Nigeria. You need to develop interventions that are capital intensive. So cost of running business for them has gone up, and having access to the foreign exchange also crippled their efficiency, particularly in 2016. But now the government has introduced strict measures to ensure that stabilized. Yeah. So all of the realities within recession and upward shift to recovery affected job loss in
well, the same points you just raised now are the same points that have been raised as to why things have picked up in the employment market. The issue of raw materials, the NBS, even the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has said that, you know, the local sourcing of raw materials has been some kind of a boost to, you know, job creation, including, of course, forex availability. So the 2 points that have been a minus are also a plus.
Well,
it's almost contradictory. It's almost confusing.
Exactly.
Yeah. That job creation is on sectoral base.
Okay.
Some key groups within manufacturing,
like the food, beverage, and tobacco.
Exactly. So they created a large percent of the job, but the entire manufacturing industry is suffering. The economy,
as a whole.
Yes, the economy, the operating environment is not comfortable. Little access to funding from financial institutions at a higher rate. So many of these strategies, many of these things are affecting them, and a whole lot of them, you talked about sourcing raw materials, but quality locally assurance in terms of local sourcing is not emphasized here. So some of them still will depend, some that use dairy industry right now, they will still import their cows and now breed them in Nigeria, but they're still importing them. So the quality of local sourcing And of course, many things affecting the, and lately the excise duty introduced by the federal government.
Yes, yeah.
And you know, this is an industry sensitive to consumer purchasing power. All of that.
Well, the issue of underemployment is like they always say is as bad as unemployment, as the case may be. But as Nigerians will say, atol I'm bad pass. I wonder. But in the scheme of things, in discussing these issues, when it comes to someone getting employed or finding something to do, not to be idle. In the meantime. Exactly. I wonder how desirable that is.
Specifically, we might not be able to ascertain what someone can get in terms of employment in immediate time. But one thing is, either skilled or unskilled, we must get engaged. For the working population, the labor force in general, if you're yet to get your desired employment, get engaged, get busy, think outside of the box. In fact, you can think without the box. Be creative, just think in your world, create your own sphere of the influence you want to have. So you do not have to wait for the manufacturing sector to get better before you get engaged.
Well, now, former CBN governor, Charles Soludo, at the time said a high number of Nigerian youths and even many Nigerians are unemployable. Even when they are ready to work, check the quality of what they're bringing on the table, they don't have it. So how do we juxtapose that? How do we reconcile that with the job availability and the labor availability, but you can't match them?
Unemployability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It links back to the question of our educational system. It's no doubt that we're a developing country, so our educational system is still evolving, and you cannot match someone who as trained by an evolving educational curriculum to deliver a developed quality of work. So there is a problem with the curriculum of learning here. Many of my colleagues, when I left the university, cannot operate a computer system. They cannot design a PowerPoint presentation. And these are persons who you want to engage on work and want to say, okay, I have a presentation, can you do this for me? They cannot do it because the system has not empowered them to be able to do it. So there's a problem with our educational system. Until governments and private investors start to invest in quality education and make the quality of learning jive with international standard. So we cannot blame those graduates. However, we can also blame them because the system is not giving you what you need. Why can't you find it? The internet should be our best friend at this time where there is technology disruption.
But then again, there's a problem of, do you even have the capacity to interrogate or to question the quality of what you have received from school? I mean, you go to school believing or being told that once you come out of university with that degree, that there's a job waiting for you.
So we need to decompose that mindset and say that many graduates are actually not employable. Truth be told. They're graduates of Nigerian university that cannot compose an application letter. So I have people that reach out to me and say, help me do this. Say, okay, I'll do it, but at a fee because you cannot do it.
And many courses are already obsolete abroad. I mean, you can't really get jobs. So many jobs actually obsolete.
A whole lot of the theories are many years theories. New things are not evolving. We're not incorporating modern realities. Can this economy really afford this number of job losses? When you record 10,000, I mean, first half of the year, over 5,000, the second half, over 5,000. Can the economy still absorb or, withstand this kind of shock to the system? On the records, we might not take it serious because it's just 10,201 out of rising 180 million people. So it's really not significant on the papers. But real life intervention, interfacing with people directly affected, we can't afford it because more than 10,291 families are affected already. These are breadwinners of the families, and they have tendencies to resolve to things that might not make the economy grow. So what do we need to do really? We need government to make the operating environment conducive. Because there is little we can do as citizens, but there is more we can do as a government. When systems and structure are in place for businesses to thrive, the manufacturing sector is suffering because the power system is not enabling for them. They need to power their gas plants, and
All
this
right.
is expensive.
Yeah, we have to leave this now because having this in mind with the Nigerian population rising at about 2.7% annually is like a time bomb if you have to put them together. But thank you, Ibrahim Awolabi, for coming on the program.
Thank you.